Your referee is Scott Ledoux. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. It is for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. And is for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first to my left, the reigning AWA Heavyweight Wrestling Champion from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing 256 pounds, Curt Hennig. And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way toward the ring area, the challenger. He hails from Memphis, Tennessee, and weighs in at 238 pounds, Jerry the King Lawler.
And hello again from Miami to Montreal, from New York to New Zealand, from London to Los Angeles. This is the AWA, and that is the heavyweight champion of the world, Curt Hennig, at 256 pounds, going against someone that I don't know if he has been in the ring with, and his opponent, Jerry the King Lawler. And one note about Jerry the King Lawler is the bell rings for the start of this one fall 60-minute time limit match. You may recall from the David Letterman television show. This was a follow-up to when he put a pile driver on the late Andy Kaufman at an actual wrestling match. Andy Kaufman, we say, in all respect, the late Andy Kaufman from the television show Taxi. And then on the David Letterman show, the two of them appeared together, and the King Lawler slapped Kaufman in the face, coast to coast and continent to continent on that one. Maybe you saw it. I hope you did. Right now, you're looking at the King and Curt Hennig from Robbinsdale, Minnesota. Lawler out of Memphis, Tennessee. Lawler knows what it's like to taste victory and world championships. He was a tag team champion of the world along with Bill Dundee not all that long ago. Curt Hennig won the championship, the belt which he now so very, very proudly wears, on May 2nd, 1987. At the Cow Palace in San Francisco, California. He won it in very controversial fashion, and he has been controversial ever since. The match against Nick Bockwinkel. Larry Zbyszko involved with a fistful of dimes. The proof from instant replay was inconclusive, and the championship went to Curt Hennig, and he has held it ever since. Hello again, and welcome again to Lee Marshall from Los Angeles, California. Great to be working with you on this championship match, Lee.
Ron, I have waited and waited for this match. Two of the all-time greats, Jerry the King Lawler and Curt Hennig, the AWA heavyweight champion of the world. And you know, we talked earlier, Ron, about everybody in the sport. And I don't care what name you want to come up with, what federation you want to talk about, the AWA or some of the federations that employ a little bit more hype. There isn't a wrestler in any federation that Jerry the King Lawler has not defeated. And we'll see how he does against Curt Hennig.
And Curt Hennig is a young man who is still a young man and on his way up the ladder. Curt Hennig has not seen his finest hour as of yet. One of the most drooling matches in the world that I have ever seen took place right here in this very ring, the Showboat Sports Pavilion in Las Vegas. It was also against Nick Bockwinkel at a time that Bockwinkel was the heavyweight champion. It was a bloodbath, and it went a full 60 minutes with Bockwinkel retaining the championship. It went to a draw, and I don't know that I have ever been as physically drained as I was from calling that 60-minute match. Curt Hennig, the King Lawler, enjoy. Oh!
Whoa, what a right hand by Curt Hennig. You know, Ron, I want to reflect on something that you mentioned just a second ago, and that is that out goes Curt Hennig. As good as Curt Hennig is now, he's not as good as he's going to get. He just keeps getting better and better and better. I'm not saying you have to like him. You don't have to like him. But I think you have to appreciate the talent that this young man brings into the ring when he carries that AWA World Championship belt in there.
Well, there was a time when everybody liked cool Curt Hennig, but not anymore. And that all began when he teamed up with Greg Gagne in a tag team match in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then suddenly during the match, he turned against Greg Gagne, would not take the tag, and decked Gagne, and it resulted, just as he got decked there, resulted in a loss for the combination of Hennig and Gagne, and the feud has gone ever since. And Curt Hennig's popularity, although the popularity may be up there from a standpoint that the fans want to see him, they want to see him get beat. They don't want to see him win. He is not liked anywhere near what he was before, but that's the way he wants it.
Well, there are a couple of things you have to remember too, Rod. With a few exceptions, wrestling is not a team sport. You know, there are very few tag teams that can really stand the test of time just because of, well, first of all, a lot of the egos that go into this sport. But wrestling isn't a team sport. And the other thing is, when you think about a lot of the other sports, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, they're all called games. This is not a game.
They don't play here.
No, sir.
Curt Hennig really has not done much in the line of offense.
Look at Jerry Lawler just fire on Curt Hennig.
Lawler has taken care of that aspect of the match so far, and again, Curt Hennig takes an exit to buy some time outside of the ring and get it together physically and mentally. And it's a combination you've got to have, particularly when you're in there with the likes of Jerry the King Lawler. What's that in the back of his trunks? Renegade?
Renegade.
Well,
Crowd starting to get behind Jerry the King Lawler now, Rod. Trying to get a chant going. But you'll notice that Curt Hennig, I can understand why he calls himself cool. He did stay cool. He didn't let either the crowd or the King, Jerry Lawler, upset him. He went into the ring when he felt it was his time to get into the ring. And now he's sizing up Jerry the King Lawler, collar and elbow. Here they go into the turnbuckle. Clean break, very doubtful. Look at this. Curt Hennig, rights, lefts, lefts. Another right, another right, another right. Look at the haymaker. You can hear it all over the pavilion.
And how Lawler is able to withstand it, I don't know, but withstand it he did. And he comes back with a barrage of his own. And again, over and out goes the champion.
I got to think that exchange of punches had to impress even Scott Ledoux, the former heavyweight contender, the third man in the ring for this championship match. How many punches did those two guys throw at each other, Rod?
Well, it was a barrage, that's for sure. I did not count them, but they took their toll, each and every one, and Lawler was the man who came out the stronger of the two, and on the long end of that exchange. And what do we have here? Curt Hennig heading toward the locker room. What's going on here?
No, the crowd won't accept it. No way.
Well,
no
Curt
way.
better turn around and get his tail back in the ring, or he is going to lose the championship belt here. He can lose it this way. He isn't going to lose it by disqualification, but if he is counted outside of the ring, and he just so barely got back in at the count of 9, if he would not have beat the count, Lawler would have been the heavyweight champion of the world. It's one rule I have long lobbied that should be changed, that if a wrestler is disqualified, such as Curt Hennig could get disqualified here, that the championship then would go to Lawler. That rule does not exist, but it is a fact that if indeed Hennig is counted out outside of the ring, or is unable to continue and is not exactly pinned, that he then will and would lose the match. And what's going on here, I'm not sure.
Just look at Hennig. He's had enough. He's in the ring, but he doesn't want any part of Jerry Lawler. You know, it's interesting you bring up that point about how titles can change hands as we sit in Las Vegas, Nevada, the gambling capital. Well, you know that the house always has a little advantage, Rod. The house always comes out a little bit ahead, and maybe that's one of the advantages of being a champion, is that you can be disqualified and still retain your title.
There he goes with a knee lift and a judo shot. The champion on Lawler. Lawler reverses, and wow! He catches Hennig with a clothesline right in the center of the ring. Turns him over. Goes to the second rope, and here he comes.
Oh.
Caramba! To the cover, one,
He's
two.
got it. No! Oh, Rod, I thought he had the 3 count. I thought we had a new world champion.
It isn't going to get any closer than that.
But he's got Hennig reeling. Look at Hennig. He is absolutely on rubber legs. Into the turnbuckle he goes.
Lawler quick to follow up here on the champion. A left hand by Lawler, another left hand. Both of them catch Curt Hennig, and a third catches him in the face. Lawler going in, and Curt Hennig caught him.
Now, Scott Ledoux would be well within his rights to disqualify him. Absolutely within his rights to disqualify him for that low kick.
Strongly admonishing Curt Hennig. And Lawler is going to need some time to recover and come out of this. And Hennig isn't giving him any time. Cool Curt, second-generation wrestler himself. Now drills him with one right hand and another. Holy cow, what a shot.
Now, fans may be saying, well, Lawler went over the top rope. Hennig should have been disqualified. But I think that just the momentum actually carried Lawler over the top rope. He really hit him a ton, Rod.
It was apparently the ruling of Scott Ledoux that it was not the intent of Curt Hennig to throw him over that top rope, or he would have been disqualified, almost disqualified there for carrying on the battle outside of the ring as you get a close-up of the champion of the world. And outside of the ring, Renegade, Jerry the King Lawler, trying to buy some time and get it back together again, and he takes another tremendous right hand from the champion, turns him around and clubs him across the pectoral muscles of the chest. And Lawler is really taking a pounding right now.
Hennig just will not let up. And look at Jerry the King Lawler.
Hanging in there and hanging on.
Oh, how does he do it? Look at the punishment. No.
He was doing it strictly by instinct there for a moment. And now he's going to need the resiliency that these wrestlers have to get it back. Curt Hennig going outside of the ring himself. Well, he started out. Now to the top rope. Scott Ledoux is telling him, get in there, I'll disqualify you. And now Lawler outside of the ring is dragging Curt Hennig out there and pounding away himself 3 times. They're going to have to get back in and beat the 10 count. Well, both of them get in plenty of time. Cool Curt Hennig, not so cool right now. A shot to the jaw, another one by Lawler, a third by Lawler. 4 times he goes to the face.
This isn't a wrestling match anymore, Rod. This is a street fight. We've got a street fight on our hands. Just look at the punishment Jerry Lawler is putting on. Oh, Curt Hennig right into the middle of the forehead.
He follows the snap there with a shot to the forehead, and now he follows it with a series of shots to the head.
Look at, right into our cameraman.
Luckily, we've got a very resilient camera crew. And our group here under the direction of stage manager Rick Tucker. And, of course, it's Polish Joe and Mike Shields putting it all together outside of the ring.
Oh!
Lawler was going to ram Hennig, and Hennig turned it around.
That's it.
And we've got no doubt, a double disqualification here. A double countout, or we'll wait until the official ruling the official announcement by Scott Ledoux on it. Indeed, he is ruling that both of them were counted out outside of the ring, but the war continuing to go on. But what happened there? Lawler ducking under a punch that is thrown by Curt Hennig. The fist going into the ring post, and we may have the right hand of Curt Hennig severely damaged here.
I told you this wasn't a wrestling match, Rod. This is a street fight.
A Pier 6 alley brawl has come to a close here at the Showboat Sports Pavilion. It is a double disqualification. Curt Hennig is making his way to the locker room. Jerry the King Lawler says, hey, come on back. I want some more. Well, that's going to have to wait until another time.